Chicagoland SportsZone Saturday starts now.
The high school football season kicked off Friday night with all 3 9-man classes and 11B in action, while South Dakota's 3 biggest classes kick off this upcoming Friday. We'll take a closer look at some of those top contenders this morning. Welcome to SportsZone Saturday. I'm Sean Bauer alongside Tanner Castora.
Brandon Valley knocked off Aberdeen Central, Lincoln, and Harrisburg en route to the 11 AAA State Football Championship a season ago.
But as the Lynx seek their 3rd title in 4 years, they'll have plenty of holes to fill from last year's title team. Leadership was key in the Lynx's state title run, and it should help the team again this year.
We just had a lot of really great leaders, and I think the nice thing about having those leaders is that they build new leaders too. So just learning from those guys and using what we learned from them just to continue to grow and continue to get better.
They passed the leadership down to us, and we're ready to step up, and us seniors this year, we're ready to lead on the younger guys, and I think it'll be really great.
Brandon Valley's defense held opponents to less than 17 points per game last season. This year's unit is looking to do the same.
We'll be fast, we'll be tough, we'll be aggressive, we'll be intelligent, we'll be flexible about, adjusting to all the difficulties that offenses cause us in the metro and around the state. We'll know what we got to know.
The Lynx will have plenty of production to replace offensively, with quarterback Joe Colbeck, running back Tate Johnson, and wide receiver Jackson Hilton all gone.
4,000 yards that we gained last year around there, we're graduating about 3,700 of it. So they understand that there's opportunities for them to take.
Despite winning their 2nd state title in the last 3 years, this Lynx team is still hungry and hoping to win another.
The coaches always talk about how if you win and if you're on top, you're going to have a target on your back. And with that, knowing that, we just got to know that all the other teams are pushing hard too and giving their best just like we are. And but we just got to continue to keep working and keep that in our minds. And
Brandon Valley is ranked 2nd in the South Dakota Prep Media Football preseason poll. The Lynx will open their title defense on Friday as they visit Rapid City Stevens.
Roosevelt reached the 11 AAA State Finals for the 3rd straight year in 2020. But failed to advance to the state championship following a narrow loss to Harrisburg. The Rough Riders remain one of the preseason favorites, but will have to adjust to losing several key pieces both to graduation and to Sioux Falls' newest high school.
The Rough Rider football team was the #1 seed in the 11 AAA playoffs last season. However, a semifinal loss to Harrisburg ended their season shy of a state title game appearance.
It's actually been 3 years in a row that we've had I thought, a really good football team and come up short in the semis. And so we're trying to figure out a way to, knock that door down and take that next step. Our seniors are, they're all pretty much together on the fact that this is going to be different, and we're going to, build for the season and be ready to play our best football at the end.
Roosevelt is now preparing for a new season. But Rough Rider numbers are down this year following the addition of the new Jefferson High School.
We knew it was coming. We just weren't sure exactly how many or who. And I'm happy with the fact that almost all of our seniors stayed here and they had the option to go. That just tells me that they wanted to finish their career here, and I'm happy about that.
Roosevelt boasted one of the state's largest rosters a year ago with more than 100 kids. This year, however, they'll have to make some changes as they are down to 70 players.
It's kind of a big change for us now. We're used to playing very few guys both ways, and now we're going to have not necessarily guys that are playing full-time both ways, but guys that are able to play on both sides of the ball if something happens.
Standout quarterback Taylon Ashley was one of the players to make the switch to Jefferson. However, Roosevelt has 2 sophomores who are battling for the new position in Jackson Brower and Elijah Ells.
They're just sophomores. They just need repetitions. And so I'm expecting both of them to get better during the season. Haven't picked a starter yet, but we will pretty soon. And so it'll be a different guy there, but a good athlete.
Despite the change in numbers, Coach Nelson and the Rough Riders will rely on their 24 seniors.
Seniors are our biggest class right now, and it's a good senior class. So I think we'll come out of the gate pretty strong, I hope. And obviously we still have some big questions to answer, but we've got time. It's early.
In Sioux Falls, Grant Sweeter, Killaland Sports.
Quick correction, the Rough Riders had advanced to 3 straight state semifinals, not championships.
Well, Roosevelt will open its season a week from today against O'Gorman in the Dakota Bowl. That game will be live streamed next Saturday on Killaland.com.
Sioux Falls Jefferson is just 6 days away from playing its first football game in school history. Killaland's Grant Sweeter caught up with the Cavs as they prepare for their inaugural season.
Unlike every other team in Class 11 AAA, Jefferson will have a fresh start in 2021, which is allowing them to build their brand of football.
It's a blue-collar mentality. Finish through the line, give great effort, compete every day. No one's more important than their teammate, no matter what position they are, and those are what we're trying to instill.
The Cavaliers are anxiously awaiting their first game, as they will have a lot to prove in their first season.
We're so excited. We've been practicing. We know every day it's getting closer and closer to game day, and I can tell by these guys already today, they got already little jitters and stuff, so they're ready for game day already.
For most of our kids, they haven't played varsity football yet, and they're hungry and excited to get on the field and try to prove that we can compete this year. We got a long way to go, but I think we're going in the right direction as long as they keep giving effort and working hard.
Jefferson has just 2 seniors on this year's roster, which means they'll be looking for leadership from any grade.
Well, those 2 seniors made a choice to come over, and we're going to respect the decision they made, and obviously they kind of took a risk on us by coming here, and they're going to be important in the leadership of our football team, but like you said, the juniors got to step up, the sophomores got to step up, freshmen got to step up. You don't have to be a certain grade to be a leader.
We really don't have that senior experience, so anyone can step up and be a leader, and I'm going to try my best to be one of those and step up and be a leader for this team.
The Cavs will have a tough slate of games this season. However, they'll be keeping their focus on improving at every opportunity.
One game at a time, and if you look ahead to teams in AAA, you're going to lose. We got 2 tough games off the bat, but we got to do our best to prepare for Washington, and whatever the result is, if we win or if we lose, we have to get better from week 1 to week 2 and throughout the whole season.
In Sioux Falls, Grant Sweeter, Killaland Sports.
Sioux Falls Jefferson will meet Washington in their first football game ever. Cavaliers' inaugural game from Howard Wood Field will be live streamed on Killaland.com Friday night at 6, with our very own Grant Sweeter providing the play-by-play.
The area won its second 11A state football championship last season, but as the Titans seek their 3rd title in 4 years, they'll have several challenges to overcome, including almost an entirely new schedule.
As with any year, replacing key members from a state championship team will be a challenge, and the T-Area Titans are no exception.
We graduated a really good senior class. I think there was 14 of them. We have 12 seniors this year. Most of them played last year, so we got some experience coming back. You know, we lost some key players, and you're just going to have to, in these early games, see what people can do.
Of the many holes the Titans must fill, there's maybe none more glaring than at quarterback. With 2-year starter Austin Lake gone, senior Cale Lundeen is the next man up.
I know I'm surrounded by the right guys. I know I'm in a position to be great, and I know my guys trust me. So I just want to do what I'm supposed to do what I know I can do and capable of, and just have fun and enjoy it. I mean, why not?
Along with new faces taking hold of new roles, the Titans have made the jump from 11A to 11AA.
It's going to be fun playing some different teams, but when we played in Class A, we played some tough teams week in and week out. So we're kind of used to it. I just think now with the bigger schools, they're going to have a lot more players to choose from than we do. Injuries come into play, so hopefully we can stay healthy and have a good season.
Regardless of class and no matter the competition, the coaching staff has continued to preach the same message.
Pound sand, and be as aggressive as possible. They are very clear on not being friends on the field, that's for sure. And that's been the entire code for the entire time I've played here, and I've definitely have that just ingrained, or I just have that nailed into my brain.
We know we're good enough. We know we're just as good as anybody else. That's why we're there. Just kind of do what we do and feel confident in our abilities, and we'll be fine.
T-Area will open its season at Brookings on Friday.
Well, coming up next, a Garrettson football player made program history in the Blue Dragons game against Viborg Hurley Friday night. We'll have that story coming up next. each time the Garrettson High School football team scores a touchdown this season, the coaching staff will have to call upon a new recruit who's never played the game before to kick the extra point.
Kellerland's Perry Groten shows you how Friday's Blue Dragons game against Viborg Hurley is one right foot away from making history.
This is the time of year when high school players step out of the shadows and into the glare of Friday night lights, including 16-year-old junior Jenna Van Holland of Garrettson.
It's kind of nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited to get started.
Jenna has played soccer all of her life, so when the football team needed to fill the vacant position of place kicker, they called on members of the girls' soccer team to try out.
Some of the boys needed help kicking, and we had lost our old kicker last year because he was a senior. So they asked some of the soccer girls to try out, and I kind of ended up being the best fit on the team, so I'm a kicker now.
A kicker who's the first girl to ever play football for Garrettson.
But she's our kicker because she's a great kicker. It's not a novelty thing for us. It's not because we thought this would be real fun. It was evident from the beginning that she was our best option, and she was head and shoulders our best kicker.
Jenna practices soccer every day of the week. She's on the football field here 3 times a week, kicking the ball about a half hour a session. It's good.
Jenna consistently drilled 35-yard field goals during this practice, a feat that has gained the respect and admiration of her teammates.
Every single time I get out there, they always tell me that they got my back, so it's been really good so far.
Having Jenna's back includes protecting her in case a bad snap on the point after attempt leads to a scramble for the ball.
Yeah, so actually if they lose the ball, my plan is just to run straight off. So, yeah, trying to avoid being tackled as much as possible.
Jenna embraces the idea of being a role model to other girls and show them that they too can attain lofty goals if they have determination and talent to boot.
Kind of set a model, I guess, for younger girls. Let them know that, they can do this too.
In Sioux Falls, Perry Groten, Kellerland News.
Jenna hopes to continue playing soccer when she goes to college, but she says her football career will end with high school graduation. We'll have highlights from Garrettson's game Friday night coming up later in the show. And with the Knoxville Nationals now wrapped up, some of the best sprint car drivers will be making their return to Huset Speedway this weekend. We'll have that story next.
After a 2-week absence due to the Knoxville National in Iowa, racing is set to return to Huset Speedway in Brandon. Kellerland's Travis Fosking explains how the world's best dirt track drivers will kick off a long stretch of big events.
Huset Speedway has hit the home stretch of the racing season.
Points battles in all 3 classes are going to come down to probably the last race of the season.
The local points race is on hold this Sunday as the World of Outlaws makes its return to Brandon.
And our local guys are looking for a chance to see how they stack up against them. And I think we've got probably 4 or 5 guys that can really compete with these guys and have a chance of winning it here on Sunday night.
They'll likely be chasing David Gravel and the number 2 Huset Speedway car.
Pretty much in contention every race, and I think he'll have a really good shot of winning here on Sunday night as well.
We're still trying to figure small details out, but I think it's going well. We actually have 10 wins overall, 3 races that were non-outlaw races, but it's been a successful season.
There's still a lot of season left for the Outlaws, but Gravel enters the weekend 3rd in the point standings and has never finished better than 3rd.
First is going to be really tough, but that's what we're building towards. We're not expecting to win championships in year 1, so we're going to keep working hard and see where we land, but I'd really like to run 2nd. It would be a great accomplishment for this year.
Gravel has been turning laps at Huset's for more than a decade, but says he's finally starting to feel at home.
We always came here with the Thunder through the Plains, and it's always a track that I ran pretty good at. I could never win. I always ran on the podium, I felt like, but this year I was able to get in victory lane twice, so hopefully we keep that momentum rolling there and see what happens.
In Brandon, Travis Fossing, Kellerland News.
Laps are set for 7 at Sunday, followed by races at 8. Huset has 10 nights of racing left in this year's schedule, including the season-ending Cheaters Day tripleheader September 24th through the 26th. Sioux Falls Little League team is making its 2nd ever appearance at the Little League World Series. We'll hear from the team coming up next.
The Sioux Falls Little League baseball team is now in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, competing in the World Series.
The team, which now represents South Dakota and the Midwest, took the field on Friday, but caught up with Kellerland's Carter Schmidt prior to their game and spoke with him about what it's been like arriving in Williamsport.
Ryan and Robin Mediger both traveled to Indiana for the Midwest Regionals last week to support their son, Kaysen. Ryan was an assistant coach, and Robin was a spectator.
The whole crowd was just so excited, and even the other team was excited for us. It was just kind of a reciprocal experience. It was so exciting for the boys.
The interactions parents can have with players are limited. Kaysen was able to spend a short time with his family after the regional championship.
We got to talk to him for a good 5 minutes, talk about how the game was, how the hotels are going, how being with your teammates is. So just to express my feelings, even though we weren't able to see them for however long in regionals. So just to see them, it was nice.
Ryan and Robin are back in Sioux Falls for a few days. They'll fly to Williamsport on Thursday.
We missed him, that's for sure, and we do miss him now. I got to FaceTime him a little bit 2 days ago, and he was excited, bouncing on his bunk and telling me how good supper was. And but I haven't seen it. We haven't got to talk to him since they've got the new uniforms and they've been on the field and had practice and that kind of thing. So
the team also had photo shoots and received new gear.
It's the real deal. It's insane. I mean, we didn't get our gloves this year, but bats, helmets, batting gloves, bags, polos right here, got a shirt underneath, hats, cleats. Oh my gosh, it's so fun.
Because of COVID, the usual opening ceremony and parade are canceled, but the team is still making most of their time in the tournament.
They're still getting the opportunity to play on the biggest stage for a 12-year-old at this point in time. There's 16 teams. You can say you're one of 16, and they're in Williamsport playing on ESPN. You know, they're doing the best they can.
And Sioux Falls open the League World Series on Friday against Louisiana. We'll have those highlights, plus action from the first Friday of the high school football season coming up after the break. Welcome back to SportsZone Saturday. Before we leave, let's take a look at the upcoming week's sports calendar. Well, tonight, the Sioux Falls Storm hosts the Green Bay Blizzard in the regular season finale, and it's a big one. The Storm need a win to clinch a playoff spot, a loss, and they are out. Kickoff for that game set for 7:05 at the Denny Sanford Premier Center. High school volleyball beginning next week, and on Tuesday, Lincoln welcomes new crosstown rival Jefferson as the Cavaliers will play their inaugural match. Then the three biggest high school football classes kick off next week, and it'll be a battle of top-ranked teams. 11 AAA #1 Harrisburg hosting the 4-time defending champs and 11 AA preseason #1 Pierre. That's at 6 o'clock. Then next Saturday, college football is back. Rivals Dakota Wesleyan and Dakota State battle in Mitchell for the Chamber of Commerce Cup. Kickoff for that game set for 7:05 on Saturday.
We'll have highlights from the Storm's finale on KELOLAND News at 10, plus action from the soccer field.
Looking forward to that. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of SportsZone Saturday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.